Hey ladies, I'm so glad you're back for another video. Please, if what you're seeing is helping you, subscribe and like the video so that I can get that feedback from you, or leave a comment if you're open enough. Also, if you're someone who finds that these strategies in my videos are really helping you, or you just feel connected to me as a person, please fill out the application below so you and I can have a one-on-one phone call about how to make you the most successful in changing your mindset, overcoming your anxieties and stresses, and moving forward to be the best version of yourself every day for the rest of your life. I'm here to make a roadmap with you and for you. I want you to be successful. You're here because what I'm saying is connecting with you and you're ready to take the steps to overcome your mental health and take control of it and take back your life. Let's do it together. Today's video is our third strategy of my 10 strategies to manage your mental health. Strategy number 3 is really important for me personally because it connects directly with my negative mindset when I'm having an anxiety attack. So strategy number 3 is 3 memories and 3 hopes. And I'll explain that a little deeper. For me, one of my forms of anxiety is I really dwell on the past. Past relationships that maybe ended badly, even friendships, family relationships that aren't today where I want them to be, ultimately because of something that I did or where I was at the point in my life where it went wrong or how I reacted to a situation when I shouldn't have. It always reverts back to how I handled it. Or I dwell on embarrassing moments or things that I've done that have ultimately made me feel like people have seen me in a different light or a different way, and then ultimately getting down on myself because of how others view me. So the darkest corners of my mind are when I look at myself through other people's perspectives in the past, or I look at something that happened in my life that didn't go as I planned, especially big events. I constantly revisit my wedding, which most women are like, whoa, my wedding was the best day of my life. For me, it was so stressful, but I was really struggling with anxiety at that point in time, and taking on something that big, and I did it 100% myself, I found it overwhelming. I was honestly throwing a giant party for everybody else. I don't think I unclenched my jaw or my stomach the whole day. It was so much. And while I ultimately loved that I married my husband and we've had the most amazing marriage since that day, just the wedding day itself is something I always go back to, the feeling of being overwhelmed on that day and feeling like I didn't do my wedding right. Well, get that out. No one does anything right. So it doesn't matter where I was at that point in time, because now I'm so much better. And I'd rather be better now and have gone through that and learned what I learned, because if I wasn't able to reflect on those moments, then I wouldn't be here today. So for me, when I get really deep in my mind, I go back to those moments of negativity. So 3 memories. This is where the mindset changes. Pick 3 memories that are the happiest memories in your life. Not ones that bring a sense of sadness, not ones that bring a sense of anxiety, because naturally I always think about the negative memories. And if I was to count, if I made a list of all my memories, I guarantee you I'd have more negative, but that's only because that's the way my mind works. That's my anxiety. I think about all the things that go wrong. So you have to stop that. You have to train your mind, change your mindset to think about the things that go right. Get rid of those things. Think about the positive. So pick 3 memories in your life that truly bring unlimited joy. And I'm going to share my 3 with you today. So 3 memories, when I catch myself reflecting and kind of getting negative, I trigger these memories and I dive into these memories. The most important part is don't just think about these memories. Put yourself there, feel them. Think about your senses. Let it overwhelm you. What did that moment smell like if it was a food memory? What did that moment sound like? Who was there? What did that moment taste like? What did you see? What did it look like? You know, was it someone's smile? Was it a sunset? What was it? And what did it feel like? Was there someone else there? How did your heart feel at that moment? So here are 3 of my best memories that I constantly go back to. Mine are not actually specific moments. They're reoccurring moments from my childhood. So one is Christmas time at my grandparents' house. We would go every other year, but I have like 60 people in my family. It's massive. And I have 18 first cousins. And growing up, that was one of the only places I always felt like I belonged. I always felt included. I could talk to my cousins about anything. I had really close friendships with my cousins as well, not just family relationships. I got to be a little bit more free because I think I had a little bit more trust when I was with family and let my hair down. And it was one of the only times that I was constantly myself. I wasn't worried about other people's perspective because it's my family. I just knew they'd love me no matter what. So Christmas at my grandparents' house, I constantly go back, and my grandma always makes this cranberry cider, and I can smell it. Waking up in the morning to the sight of sometimes snow, but just everybody there, her Christmas tree, the sound of my grandpa listening to like Bing Crosby Christmas album. Oh, it just overwhelms me, and it takes me back. And I think about weirdest feeling is wrapping up in a specific blanket my grandma has. It's a Seahawks blanket. Or no, it's a Mariners blanket. And everybody used to argue about it, and wrapping up in that and laying on her blue sofa, which I think a lot of my cousins probably have that same memory. We all did it. But I would always fall asleep there. It's just the coziest place. Like, you never felt more relaxed than in that environment. Even if there were 60 people around me talking, I could fall asleep because my mind was just so relaxed, and my mind is never relaxed. It's always running. So for me, that is a place of just overwhelming calm. My grandparents' house, but specifically on Christmas. My second memory is in the summer, my entire family goes to Lake Chelan in Washington. We have a timeshare there, and all the same family members, there's 60 of us, plus some, go every year the same week, and we spend an entire week there. I kid you not. I used to leave my phone as a teenager. What teenager leaves their phone? Leave my phone in the back bedroom in a drawer, turned off. I would spend 5 days disconnected from the world, enveloped in the relationships, the family that I had there. We'd sit around the hot tub, and you can smell chlorine, and I can hear all my cousins laughing. We all have like a similar gut-busting, way too loud of a laugh. And then when everyone's doing it simultaneously, it's like so much. Most people probably couldn't handle how great it is. I'm like already smiling just thinking about these moments. So you have to trigger these memories. And I wake up in the morning. My cousin and I used to sleep on the balcony every night of the timeshare. Wake up in the morning to the sound of the waves hitting the dock. And my uncle would always be on his boat playing country music, and no one else would be awake yet. I was such an early riser. I'd wake up, listen to the waves, crawl out of my sleeping bag, see my uncle on the boat, and then usually I would immediately run down, put my swimsuit on, and convince him to let me go wakeboarding or whatever. But just those sensory moments of like the sound of the waves, it takes me to that moment. Or the smell of chlorine sometimes automatically takes me back to that hot tub. It's kind of crazy. And then my third memory, which is it's triggered by smell, which is so strange. However, so my great grandpa passed away when I was about 21, and he used to live in a duplex with my grandparents. So he was in the basement and they were upstairs. And I would go down to his apartment, and he had all this old like retro furniture that was like orange velvet. I don't know how else to put that. And it was like such a great grandpa apartment. And he had this old long car that was like dirty brown, and we'd all like fit 6 people in it. It had one of those bench seats in the front. But he was just the most loving person I can remember. I used to like just sit next to him on that blue sofa and sit really close. He used to sneak up behind me and poke me with his cane, and he'd always call me Blondie. He'd be like, hey, Blondie, where you going? And I just had such a good relationship with him. But he always wore the same, I think it must be aftershave. His whole house smelled like it. His car smelled like it. Even to this day, there's certain things at my grandparents' house that I'll get a whiff and I'm like, oh, that's Papa. Like, what? But I'll catch that smell. So I'm not sure if other people are wearing the same thing or if certain colognes remind me of it. But there was one day that I used to live in Hong Kong, and I was walking down these steps on an island called Discovery Bay, and there was no one around, and I smelled it. And I was like, it literally stopped me in my tracks, and I went, oh my gosh, that's my grandpa. Like, so how weird is that? I can smell my grandpa's aftershave. And it just takes you back to those moments of like, oh, I'm not thinking. My mind's off and I'm here. Senses can be so important for feelings and memory, and they go right hand in hand with your affirmations. Allow yourself to feel. And when you're in a moment that you think is ultimately a really good moment, savor it. A lot of people our age tend to like party through it or like rage through it. Like, just take a minute for yourself and say, oh God, I want to remember this moment. And focus on those senses. What do I smell right now? What do I feel? What do I see? And be like, this is going to be one of those moments that I look back on tomorrow and so forth into the future. And it's going to trigger this exact same feeling I have right now. Remember this moment. Take it in. And take in every sense that goes along with it. So I hope you're thinking about your 3 memories. If you'd like to share, I would love to hear them. And I'd love to see the smile that grows on your face as you share them. And I swear, when someone's talking about their 3 happiest moments or feelings, you can just see it in their eyes, their body, their smile. Everything about them kind of changes. And that's actually a really good way to get to know people, is ask them that question. That's a really deep way to get to know people and start to build relationships if you're someone who's looking to make new relationships and real relationships, not just people you're going to drink next to on a Friday night. People you want to wake up to next to after camping on a Sunday morning with nothing to do and just have deep conversations. So important. The second part is 3 hopes. So a lot of people with anxiety, like me, also constantly get overwhelmed with tomorrow. How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to do this? What if I don't make enough money? What if I don't do a good job? What if I totally bomb this interview? What if? And I've always been one of those people that's like daydreaming about how I want something to go when it's not even here yet. I'm trapped in the future and I'm not in the present. So instead of dwelling or getting anxiety and overwhelmed about what's going to go wrong, do this. Say what if, followed by something that is a goal, a dream, or something you want to go right. Okay? This has been really eye-opening for me, and it's allowed me to take more leaps and more risks in my life. I used to be very worried about what was going to happen, and I had people in my life being like, what if you don't do this? Well, you need security. Well, you need this. And what about this? And I can't let them in because that's not me. You're not me. You don't know what I need. You don't know how I work. You don't know what I'm going to be successful at. I understand people are worried about you, but especially with anxiety, you have to trust yourself and you have to be able to take those risks. Look at me. I'm leaving my job as a teacher in June. Oh my gosh, 3 months from now. And I'm moving into an RV with my husband, and I'm going to be working remotely, and we're going to travel the entire country. And this is a lifestyle change for me. And I've never thought I would take this risk till I started using this strategy. So 3 things that could go right. What if I become so successful at my remote business that I make double what I would make as a teacher's salary? And I could be working my own hours from anywhere in the world. Wow. What if I have kids in the future? This is something that gives me anxiety, thinking about being pregnant, having children, the craziness of babies. But what if I have the coolest freaking kids in the world, and they're so awesome that I just want to spend every day with them, and we constantly go traveling on adventures? And what if they're so funny? What if they're exactly like my husband? That would be so cool. He's so cool and he's so chill. What if they were like that? That would be cool. What if I move into this RV and I travel the entire United States and I meet so many other travelers and I create an entire new community? Just a year from now, I would know so many more people and have so many more relationships. Look at me. I'm inspired. I'm ready. I want these goals to come true. I'm taking the action to make these goals come true. And I'm not stressed out. I'm not dwelling on something negative. I'm thinking about, wow, set the standard. Don't say maybe. What if this is happening? This is going to happen for me. And I hope these things happen for you. If you are connected to me at all, if you feel like what I'm saying is reaching you and it's pulling at your heartstrings, if you feel empowered to change your mindset, take on the day, take on your life, please like this video, subscribe, reach out, fill out the application below so that you and I can have a one-on-one conversation. Even if it's just a one-on-one conversation to get to know each other and help each other grow, that's fine. Or if you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur like me and stepping out of the boxed walls of the societal world where you have to work a 9-to-5 job, I'm more than happy to help you get there as well. Or if you're looking for certain products that are really going to help you just minutely in those small pieces of your anxiety in your day-to-day life, I have those resources for you as well. Please reach out. Let me know how I can help.